Hello everyone, welcome to the channel today. So I'm really excited about this one. We're doing a reading around love. So I was checking in with my guides to like how do we do this, because some of you will be single and some of you will be already in a relationship, but I wanted to be a reading for everyone. And instead of kind of like going through a reading and interpreting it for both, or like how it looks for one, etc., etc., I'm going to do 6 more shorter readings. I'm going to do singles at the top and 3 relationships, so everyone in a connection, whether it's like rocky or if it's going well. It's just like a message to take with you to help improve the connection, or just give you some insight maybe that will help you make the decisions you've already got on your mind, because that's really what it's about. It's about empowering you. And same with the singles, right? Whether you should like do what you should be looking for, what you should be focusing on. Is it inward focus? Is it outward focus? We'll have a look. So I'm pretty excited. We've only got 2 decks that I'm going to be using today besides this one. This will be the one for picking your pile. So I'm going to start off with the top row first. So it's going to be 6, but they're going to be shorter reads. So it's going to be like a little energy boost in regards to love life, romance, relationships, maybe even self-care. We'll see. I'm also getting called to another deck, so across that there will be 3 that I'll be using today. Okay, so singles please. We're going to take this one. Okay, so here are my singles. Timestamps will be down below if you want to just jump straight to it. I'm only going to pick by crystal cards. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, so let's take a look. So up here, this will be for the singles, and I'll put that in the notes too. I'll say, pile 1, 2, 3 singles, and then pile 4, 5, 6 as relationship people. Oops, so I have got these all upside down, which is fine. So pile 1, you have Ametrine with spiritual guidance, angelic realms, clearing stress, and truths revealed. Okay. For pile 2, you have the blue lace agate with kindness, good communication, peaceful outcomes, love and marriage. Interesting for singles. And for pile number 3, you have harmony, home protection, calm, attracts love. So there are the 3 piles for singles. Go down if you want to check the timestamp and jump straight into your video. Otherwise, if you are in a relationship, we'll go through the bottom 3. So for pile 4, you have Tiger's Eye, luck in new adventures, willpower, creative flow, and overcoming fears. Okay. For pile number 5, you've got gold or golden sheen obsidian with personal power, spiritual manifestation, earth healing, and new experiences. And lastly, pile number 6, you've got green aventurine with good luck, prosperity, new opportunities, and heart healing. Okay. So here are your 6 piles. Now remember, the first 3 will be for people who are single, last 3 will be for people in relationships. If it's kind of like on-off, feel free to choose where you feel is right. Go by the crystal that's popped out as well. If you choose to choose that way, absolutely fine. Otherwise, I'll give you some time to pick your piles and I'll see you in your reading. Hello pile 1, welcome in my singles. So today you have chosen Ametrine, and this was such an interesting one because I was already getting interesting vibes of like having enough, or having like a lot not a lot on your plate. How's the best way? It's like certain aspects of life are very fulfilling, and then there's like other aspects that you are contemplating tapping into. That's kind of how this feels today with the ametrine coming out. But we'll read the messages on here. So you've got spiritual guidance, angelic realms, clearing stress, and truths revealed. Truths revealed really popped out when I was shuffling, when I was pulling the cards, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting one. So I did say there would be 2 decks, but another one just popped out, so I had to grab it. And that was this one. This is the spirit messages. So we'll pull some oracle as well. Yep. I think I might just pull 1 for now. 2 animals. Yeah, I think that's correct. If we need more cards, I will. I'm not too fussy on whether these are going to be too much or like, you know, too long readings. If this video is like really long, then it's long. I'm fine with that. Okay, we've also got the Modern Love Tarot because, of course, why not? I'll take these 2. Oh, okay, 3. Alright, may as well grab 1 more. Okay. Sorry about the light here. It's a bit reflective, but they will calm down when I flip them. Alright, so let's take a look at your reading today, Power 1. So you have ground yourself. It says here, being distracted, unfocused, tired, irritated, and impatient are all signs you're ungrounded. Now is the time to become centered and allow spirit to help you ground yourself and reconnect with your divine source, or with the divine source. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep going. I do want to read it already, but I'm just going to leave it for a second. Ooh, we also have the White Raven Spirit, Trust in Magic. This is really nice. Also a little angel number there as well. Which is interesting because you chose the one with Angelic Realms. So, a lot of good vibes here. This, I feel like I have to just jump in because otherwise I'm not going to forget, but I can't help myself. The ground yourself really does kind of feel like, hey, you've got certain things going in your life, right? You've got certain aspects that you have like gratitude and grateful for and blessed, let's say, in. And then there's this aspect of like potentially romance or love that you're looking to expand in. And I feel like you'll know exactly what that means and looks like. It's not like you'll know exactly what the future will look like, but you kind of, when you're grounded, you can adjust your compass in a direction that feels more true to you, not just what is expected or thought of or just outside sources, other energies project onto you. This is what you believe. And that's really important in this reading. It's not about what should man, woman be doing at this age, what should, you know, or whoever be doing at a certain age or at a certain time in their life. It's not about that. It's not about what is the general consensus. What do you feel is correct for you? I like the Trust in Magic though, because it shows that the White Raven coming through, which hardly ever comes out. He's very like exclusive, I feel like. And I just love that it's like coming out with the angelic realms, the higher realms. This is supported if you choose to it, but I feel like this is an opportunity, not a command or anything like that. And if you are looking, then take this as a really good sign. All right. Interesting. So you've got the Lion Spirit with Be Generous of Spirit. Really cool. I'm going to flip all these as well, and then I'm going to do your reading. So you've got the Two of Swords. I feel like this is an opportunity, of course, but it's like in 2 minds. I don't feel like it's like too much of the normal swords where it's like you have to make a choice. I don't think you have to. I think you have to remove the feeling of having to decide now because of and something, right? Because I don't, is it lack? Am I looking for someone to fill a hole? Because that's never going to be the best kind of way of searching for someone to be fixed or to fix someone else. Because we can only really, at the end of the day, we can support people, but at the, like, when it comes to push comes to shove, or whatever you want to say, colloquial sayings, it's up to that person. It's up to you to make the step over the line. It's up to them to make the step over the line. No one can really force you, let's say, unless you're like in a hostage situation or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like very rare. Yeah, you have the Ace of Pentacles. I really like this. It's really strong that a relationship is coming through. It's just got to be created, and I like that this is made with different aspects of different things. It's like many different aspects of who you are is really important. It's not about giving up a part of you to go look for a relationship. It's not about minimizing. It just might be focusing more on a different area. So instead of, you know, my spiritual practices or my work or anything like that, you don't have to give up work or give up your spirituality or anything like that to focus on another thing. We're not, you know, we're not robots. We can have an array of aspects of love, let's say, in our lives from different things. But if you're not wanting it, you don't have to, with this card coming through. Okay. You also have the Page of Cups. Look, if you are really keen and looking, absolutely, it's coming through. Now I'm kind of switching between, like, is this more about deciding what you're looking for and what's a more balanced way of going into this? Grounding is going to be your first point of call, as the first card as well. So make sure you have that. You're very, like, this is be generous of spirit, but I feel like it's like almost like the Strength card. You do have aspects of your life which you're like, you have no problem in, right? You've got that down pat. You can deal with really challenging things, really certain aspects of life are really challenging for what some other people might perceive from the outside looking in. You have no problem with it. It's like this aspect of life is like where the kind of like it gets a little bit unknown or scary because it's two humans instead of just you being in let's say control or in the command seat. This is like two worlds coming together in a sense. So, you know, as much as you can, open up about it. Go in with fresh face, fresh eyes with the Ace of Pentacles. This can also be like a messenger, right? That's like traditionally, and I feel like that's a good sign. Also, it's a message of love. So maybe you already are thinking about someone, but you're not sure how to approach it. You know, be courageous. Utilize that strength from other areas of your life into this. They're not exclusive. That's part of you. You can channel that that energy into different areas of your life. It doesn't have to be just stuck in one aspect, or more focused rather, not stuck, more focused. Okay, so you've got the Pentacles. This is the Four of Pentacles, and really interesting here. It's kind of like, just looking at her, she's kind of like concerned, right? It's like, what is she up to? What is she doing? Why is she just relaxed about this? I mean, like, you might even be like this strong, independent person in particular areas of life. As well as like this person, like you, I mean, when I say this person, strong, has strong elements that they have in their life that are very put together and, well, I don't know, I don't want to say in control, because control is like not always the best, but it does feel like you have that sorted or in a good space. You have good boundaries with let's say, for example, work. You have good boundaries. You have good structure in particular areas. It might be just like your home life or something like that. It might be comfortable. This is kind of getting out of the comfort zone, because you're starting to see other people and you don't want to be like irritated and irritable or impatient or just irritated in general. Not necessarily about this person or other people, but just seeing how other people find it easy to just loosen up and let themselves free, in a sense. So you don't want to be stuck in your head, especially here with the grounding, going around and mulling over certain details or what could happen, or this won't be the right thing, or maybe this guy's not the greatest, or blah, 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 or this girl's not really who I'm interested in, even though you haven't met them yet, right? You don't want to play out 50,000 scenarios before you've even like opened up the dating app or gone on a date with someone. You just want to go as much as you can freely. But I feel like this is a choice. There's no expectations. I will say very high opportunities. The Pentacles does feel like a relationship, not just like a love interest. How can I word this? Not just like a quick thing. It's like, yeah, you don't know, not just like a quick thing. This feels like planting a seed and watching the seed grow. It takes a long time, it takes a while. So that could be from you starting to date to finding someone. It could be from the relationship beginning and growing. Like it's slow growing, and that's fine. It doesn't. There's no rush. We're not. It's not like we're speed running life, speed running dating. You might want to speed date, but you know we're not. The person who gets a date or gets into a relationship isn't a winner exactly because of how quick it is. They're a winner because of, you know, the conversations, the kind of like fleshing each other out and understanding each other is really how it is. But you've got really positive, high vibe energy towards this connection. If you are going to look for someone, I feel like even your guides are literally guiding you towards this. I do want to read some information in these cards though. So I feel like the Two of Swords is just really popping for me. So I'm going to read, this is single and loving it. So I'm just going to read this to you. It says here, being single by choice can be amazing, as long as it's not a strategy you're using to avoid being vulnerable and getting hurt. Ooh, I'm sorry, but that really was like a stab. Hopefully it's not bad, right? It's not bad. It's just facts. Like it can be true. Maybe for you, maybe like this is irrelevant, but just take that as you will. If so, you're being called to do some healing so that you can release some baggage and fly solo by choice and not for defense purposes. Okay. Wow, the guides really wanted to come for you today. Okay, so Two of Swords again. This is the ready for love / dating. It says here, Two of Swords is clearly saying that it's not the right time for dating. So if you decide to do it anyway, don't be surprised if you find frogs when you really want someone with a castle. The cards don't tell you, the cards did tell you so. Focus your fine self into things change. What? Into things change. Okay. And the timing is more favorable. Oh, sorry. Focus on your fine self until things change. And the timing is more favorable. Okay, so it's just getting you to review this and make sure that this is actually what you want and not something that is just like out of fear. It's almost like you don't want to be staying single if you're staying single because it's a strategy to not open up. And then you also don't want to just go on a date because you're choosing that as an idea of running out of time or something like that. Like there's a time limit on your life. And I don't know your full situation, so take it as it resonates, but take what resonates here. I do want to read one more with this one as well, actually. I said they were going to be quick, but I really want to give the full reading and messages from the card. All right, so the ready for love aspect is the Ace of Pentacles presents raw potential. So if you meet someone, there is a potential they could be marriage material. This is what I was thinking. This feels like long term, like marriage person. You're not looking for a whirlwind romance, even though those are, fun, but it feels more grounded. So it says here, take time to get to know them and see whether the relationship can grow into something extraordinary. Love that. Well, singles, this is a great message in regards to you looking for love. There is a few things, of course. Help ground yourself so you can know what's right for you. Grounding yourself really is about being present, not about what ifs or the past repeating itself or fears or worries. There can be fears in the present, right? You can be fearful if there's a lion in your room absolutely fine. But if an ex is left, but you still have fears from that ex coming back, or like someone dating someone like that, they're not in your space and you haven't talked to them for 10 years or something like that, then it's time to, process, release it, or just get out of the mindset that they're there and into what's important to me now as a person looking for a relationship, looking for love. And I think that will help you decide what's right for you in this moment. Yeah, this feels, again, be brave, open up. You can open up to yourself to decide what's really important to you and then go forward because you have the support from your guides. And the truth revealed really does feel like telling you the truth about someone who might be actually this, or they may not be someone who you want, right? So it's like you'll know when you know, and you'll know when it's time, because you'll get this little ping of a message, or it could be like intuitive hit. So you'll know when it's right. Okay. So that's exactly what I see in your reading, pile number 1. Thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello there, pile number 2. So welcome in, singles. So you've chosen the Blue Lace Agate with kindness, good communication, peaceful outcomes, and love and marriage. And interesting, there was love and marriage popping up for you, pile number 2, because, we're doing the singles kind of chat, and clearly it's showing a very forward-focused thinking. So we'll have a look at what the cards say today. All right, so I'm going to do exactly what I did for the last pile and just pull one of these. Please, can I get a card for pile number 2? Okay. A lot of blue colors. I promise I don't just buy the decks that have blue, mostly colors. As you'll see with the Modern Love Tarot that I'll pull out in a second. Just happens to be a lot of cards with blue on them. Okay, I'm going to take you and... oh no, I'm going to take you. Alright. Kind of getting already a vibe of this reading with the two, with the Blue Lace Agate. But I really want to make sure that I'm not just going by just intuitive hits when we've got cards here as well. So I'll bring that through as we go through and see how that relates to your reading today. Alright, so you've got love. Interesting. You're really looking for love, aren't you? Love is the foundation of your existence, and you're just as worthy of receiving as you are of giving love and compassion. While love can be a beautiful emotion, it's equally a form of energy that propels you through life. So, really interesting here, and kind of touches in what I was looking at with love and marriage. So we've got the love card. It's such a nice card, and it also kind of feels like an energy of you are worthy. Like, that's really how it's coming through. You are worthy of getting to the goals that you have in regards to love. Just remember that. Just because something hasn't happened for you right now or in the past doesn't mean you're not worthy of it if you are looking for it. I just wanted to say it like that. It feels like self-care as well, or like self-worth. I feel like you've worked on many different things and aspects in your life. You've worked on so much internally that, time has gone by, but that doesn't mean it was wasted or anything like that. You've actually worked on the things. Sometimes in relationships you work on things, right? Because we really, really, really want a relationship. So it's like, okay, then, we'll get guided to a connection where, it can be up and down, or it can have different, let's say complications, let's say like that. And that's okay, because no relationship is supposed to be just like a dream the whole time. It's not supposed to be challenged the whole time either. But probably learnt some interesting lessons in past connections as well. Yeah, so you've got the Wombat Spirit. This is like, that's what I was like, this feels future future focused, and we're trying to rein it back in to you and how you're feeling now, connection with self. You also have the chameleon spirit with act as if, and this is reversed. This really feels like being true to yourself, not what you think someone wants to be here or anything like that. And this goes into like both ends of the spectrum. It's like being overly yourself, like, and it doesn't mean like, I don't mean it like don't be too much of yourself. It's not like that. Be yourself, but you don't have to express every single little thing that's out there. Like, let the conversation flow naturally. Is how I want this to come through. Okie dokie. You have the Queen of Wands. Know your worth. Like, this Queen of Wands, I feel like in this image, she really knows who she is and what she's about. And yeah, she's here to support people and pick them up, but also she needs to have that same support for herself. Like, if you're the person who helps others or inspires others to, like, you know, go for it, those kind of things, inspire yourself as well. Let that energy come back to you. Let them help you as well. And if they're not going to be, you know, if that person or those other groups can't help you, that's fine. You can help yourself. Okay. Okay. Eight of Wands. I feel like with the Eight of Wands, there is an aspect of finding someone in like a short amount of time, in a sense. But then also on the flip side, like, I know I keep going backwards and forwards, but that's kind of how this reading is. It's like, on the flip side, it's wanting to rush things through, like get to a particular point. It's almost like, if we're not married within 6 months, then this isn't a good relationship. I would say just let things flow naturally, because there's a lot of love to give here, and obviously a very caring person. So I feel like these situations where you get into potential connections, it kind of like, I don't know if it irks you or if it pushes you to be almost someone that's a little bit different to who you are. It's really hard to explain. It's just the energy feels like, it's almost like good, but fear. It's like fear drives. It's like, I have to get somewhere. When really it's like, he's generally pretty mellow. And then in relationships or going on a date, it's like, I like this though. Look at that. You've got the Queen of Wands and the King of Swords. Don't know if this is the person or if this is an aspect of you as well. But it's really touching on ensuring when you go into like a dating, or how you want to strategize going into relationships, or I don't mean to make it sound so logical, but that's exactly what the king is, right? The King of Swords, he's logical. He knows what's right for him and what will be good for others. So it's like, take parts of that, take the lighter aspects of this, leave the kind of stoic kind of overthinking aspects behind with this king. But if it is, I feel like just because they're not the same suit, right? Wands and swords, doesn't mean they're not a good relationship. I don't ever look at like the King and Queen of Cups as being a couple. They're just two archetypes. They're two aspects. These two could get together. Why not? You know what I mean? You can get together with different people, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different feelings, different relationship modalities, that kind of thing. It's okay. So, you know, I feel like I want to say, I don't think this is a big message for most of you, Paltu, but review your boundaries and that kind of thing, your walls, those kind of aspects of yourself, because some things are there to protect us and some things are there to protect us, but in the future or now in the present, that's no longer relevant to hold that kind of like wall up to stop that coming through, because it might have been an old situation or from an old relationship or watching parents or something like that. And I just want to say it's okay to, you know, bring down some of those if they're toxic. Like if a boundary is toxic, then it's time to like shift it. And I'll give you an example. It's kind of like if you are... Oh, what's a good example? It's kind of like... I don't know. I'll give an example. But anyway, so if you're having a conversation with someone and they say something that triggers something from a past relationship, right? Because you had an ex that used to, I don't know, do something annoying or say something really horrible to you. And this person's talking around that, but they haven't actually said it, and you jump on top of them, right? And tell them not to talk to you like that. And even though that's not exactly what they're saying, it's because it's like that's based off something old. That's based off an old wounding. Whereas they might have been talking about something completely different. You just kind of like got triggered by not exactly what they're saying, but what it reminded you of from the past. That's the kind of things that need maybe shifting and moving, but obviously up to you. And lastly, you have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, you're definitely ready. I think if you've come into this pile and you are in a connection or you've just started dating someone, this is a good sign that things will move probably quicker than you thought into a direction of, you know, a romantic connection. But if you aren't necessarily looking just right now, and you're thinking about it, I would say know your worth and what your values are, and make sure you're in like an even mind going into dating and that kind of thing. Definitely, again, know your worth. You've got everything sorted at home. I feel like with this be at home, there's like an aspect of just like, it's not like stay at home and, you know, hibernate. It's more like know who you are and know your worth, know your value. It's really coming through these three cards, especially, yeah, and also the actors as well, with the chameleon reversed. I don't normally read them too much reversed, but if they come out reversed, I feel like there's an aspect there, because I feel like you don't want to blend in, you don't want to just kind of like keep the peace when it's reversed. I feel like it's time to break out of that shell or that protective layer, because we have to be vulnerable if we're going to meet people and potentially date them, right? It's a tough one, not easy going through the dating life, but this looks fun and this looks good. So if you are looking and you are excited about looking, focus on the date as it is, not what you project yourselves as two people looking like in the future. If you want to do it that way, absolutely go for it, but this is just how the reading's coming through. So take your time. It'll move quick where it needs to and when it needs to. Just kind of let that flow. But it does look like relationship, love, and potentially even marriage is in your future. But I never like to do fortune telling kind of readings where it's predictive, because so much stuff can change with like our minds. Someone else, like the governments, could change something and that changes everything, right? So nothing's really set in stone, I feel, all the time. But I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comment section. But take care of yourself, and thank you for letting me read for you. Hello, pile number 3. So welcome in, singles. So you've chosen the Amber with, I don't know why I said it like that, but Amber with harmony, home protection, calm, and attracts love. So lovely crystal here. Actually, not really a crystal, right? It's a sap, but you know what I mean. Very, very nice little gem here. So I've got actually a piece of amber here as well. Nothing inside it, just a clump. I think it's split. So I just got like a little chunk of it. All right. So let's take a look at your message in regards to love relationships for singles. Okay. That was the right card. I think I'll let it come back around. I'm gonna go with this one. Okay. So I can get a message for pile 3. Attracts love. I like it. We'll say, even though it's a bit early, if you were also attracted to pile 2, go have a look at that as well. There might be some aspects in there, but only if you're called to. If you're not, that's absolutely fine. You'll see why, potentially, why I'm saying that just with the crystal. If you go watch it. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards. So you have the give back. I'm going to read this. It says, today is the day to cast aside normal routines and make your main purpose to serve. It is about giving back without thought or expectation of getting anything in return. Reach out and touch other people's spirits, as it's highly likely that someone really needs you today. Really interesting one coming through with give back. It's almost like feels like feeling balanced in a sense, but it's not like through grounding or anything like that. It's through everyday interactions. Sometimes even giving back can be like appreciation for what someone has done for you, that kind of thing. It's like, it's an interesting one. I'll try not to read them too quickly. I'll get all the cards out. So we have the seahorse spirit with watch and wait. Interesting. Because it's reversed and it's almost like, have we done watch and waiting enough now? And also the dolphin spirit reversed, so 2 sea creatures with this and that are true. Interesting, this and that are true. What does that mean? We'll have to have a look. Dolphin spirits are interesting because there's a lot of like interesting information popping up around dolphins or people's like perceptions and ideas and minds about them. But it's like, you know, it's like humans. You can't judge every human based off one dolphin or like one other human, right? You can't, like, let's say an extraterrestrial race came through and judged all humans based off, you know, you, or all humans based off, I don't know, Cameron Diaz, or all humans based off like Donald Trump. You know what I mean? It's like, those are just one, that's just one person and like billions of people. So can't really judge all like of a particular species off just one. I don't know why that's coming through, but that might be something to take with consideration as well. But this and that are true when it's reversed. It's almost like already assuming what's going to happen in a connection or what's going to happen when you're dating without actually even stepping outside the front door. All right, so you've got Strength card. Yes, definitely. You are already a powerful person, I feel like, with this. You already have like a lot of high vibe energy. And it's already someone who knows their worth in a sense, in certain aspects. There might be just a harmonizing of that as well. Like, you want to make sure you're open as well, but you also want to make sure you get what you're kind of like wanting, or, you know, you're not minimizing yourself. I don't think you're at risk of that at all with the cards that have come out. You also have 5 of Pentacles. Okay. This could be from the past as well. There's still like things that pop up. Okay. You also have the Magician, like I said, powerful. You've got Strength and the Magician. This is someone who knows. It's interesting because I don't know if it's like someone who knows what they want or someone who knows their worth, their value, absolutely, very clearly. It's now a time to kind of balance that energy, because we don't want to overdo something. We don't want to we don't want to force ourselves through certain situations or in front of people, that kind of thing. Because you can still be strong and powerful, and sometimes you can still be strong and powerful and silent, if you know what I mean, or strong and powerful and not overshadowing or being overshadowed. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine if someone was overshadowing you by telling you what they want and how they feel and that kind of thing. And then not asking you any questions. So it's like just trying to balance that out, I feel, is important. But you are a creator. You can make your vision come through. And I really like that this is like a feminine aspect. It's not about male or female. It's about energy. So she's female, but she's utilizing her masculine energy. So it's like, make sure that you are utilizing your energy however it may come through and not judging it based off gender. Okay, so you have the Six of Cups. I think that's really was showing through with the past. It might have been someone, like if you look back at that person, was very different, but still has some aspects of them that have come through. And some of that is absolutely fine because we don't just fully change and delete, we don't just delete our past. But you don't want anything still niggling there and that fear blocking a good, solid emotional connection as well. So it's nice. I feel like this is also nice, but also has some, other weights on it as well. And that may be relevant for some, may not. But I think also the past of tapping into that inner kind of like heart, that sweetness, is important here too within coming into a relationship. It's an interesting one. I do want to read actually the book for these two, just like a little bit of it. I'm not going to read the whole thing out. I just want to read parts of it and see what clicks in as being relevant. So I'm going to start with the dolphin. Yeah, it's interesting. The dolphin spirits, it says right at the beginning, it says, when you most want to be acknowledged as right and see other people's ways as wrong, dolphin spirit appears to remind you that the story of your suffering and righteousness is a little more complicated than you are admitting right now. So it's kind of like, just make sure that you're not more focused on old things or doing things in a particular way, in a set kind of way. It's like, be more free with it, have fun, be more flowy when it comes to a relationship. It shouldn't be like going into a date and it's like, okay, I need to grab my spear and my shield and I'm gonna fight. This isn't a battle. You're not going into war in a relationships. You probably already attract certain people, right? And if you're focused on going into a battle, you're going to come up against people that are going to go into a battle too, because it's like attracts like in that sense, because you're like, okay, it's wartime. But you're already fierce. You don't have to see dating as a war zone, because it's not. Because that could be blocking you from like a real connection, a real, nice conversation. Just let it be more free flowing, I feel. That may be where the giving back is. It's not like you're actually giving back. It's like letting the conversations flow, letting your emotions flow, letting your thoughts and feelings flow freely. Okay. And I just want to check this little seahorse. Okay, so even the seahorse is coming for you a little bit, but it says here, are you holding on to judgment? Sure that your perspective is the only correct way to look at things. So it's like being very fixed with these two. It's like, no, if I don't like attack the person first, I don't know, it really feels like you're going into war. It's almost like if I don't attack the person first, or like, not that you're trying to attack them, right? But if I don't make the first move, then they're going to get me. So I'm going to get them first. Or I'm going to tell them how I'm feeling first. Or if I'm feeling nervous, I'm going to make sure they know that I'm like that first, or something like that. Or they have to tell me, or they have to make sure they're interested in me first. It's almost like this is not a game. You're just going out for like a conversation, right? Someone put it in a really funny but like interesting term. It's like we focus so much on, like, this was just talking about sex and that kind of thing. And we focus so much on it, but then we look at animals and they will be eating 1 minute, having sex the next, and going back to eating. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's not such a big deal, but because we're human and we're so complicated, of course it's going to be different. But sometimes I think we make things so much more difficult or like wild than they really need to be. It is talking about here, perhaps drama you have been drawn into is your own. Whatever the action of others, your challenge is to be non-reactive and not take their words or behaviors personally. So when I say that, if someone acts like, a bit of an ass, then obviously that's a red flag, right? But if someone's just acting in a way and you've taken it like in a particular way because of the past, like an old relationship, then that's a time to like take a step back and be like, are they actually saying something about me, or are they just talking to someone else and I've taken that as the waiter or something? And if she's talking to him and not paying attention to you in the situation because she's just ordering, but you think that's like, oh, so you're interested in the waiter and not me. You know what I mean? You don't want to jump to a conclusion that's not exactly true. So it's just being mindful of that as well. Because you will attract what you attract. So if you want love, you'll attract love. Easier said than done. But it's about dating. It's about really opening up and sharing aspects of yourself. Because even from a date, you learn a lot about yourself. It's not just about you interested in them. You also do learn about yourself. You do understand more about yourself. You do understand who you're going on dates with, what you're really attracting, what kind of people you're attracting. It's kind of like see it as like a fun game in a sense instead of a war game, if that's possible. Okay. Just want to see if there's anything else coming through. I feel like certain aspects of your life are running really well as well, very similar to part 1. So you might even want to watch all of them in a sense if this one hasn't resonated so well. But certain things and aspects of your life are good. The amber coming down with calm is like literally to go in with an even mind, even head, level mind, so that you're giving yourself an opportunity to be vulnerable, also giving the other person opportunity to be vulnerable. Because it's interesting, because sometimes we can feed off their energy, right? We'll be like, oh, okay, they're trying to hold back certain things, so I'm going to hold back certain things, and then it becomes a competition. But if they're holding back and you're not, then that'll help them open up. And if it doesn't, then you already know the answer to the question of, is this person dateable, right? Why let other people's energies impact yours in that kind of way? Because it tells you more about them and less about you, really. It's not like that's their thing to process or get over or work on, but not for you to tell them, obviously. But that kind of it's for your information. Let's say it gives you a lot of information about who they are. But yeah, go forward, do your thing. Do your thing, pile 3. Okay, that's exactly what I see in your reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Otherwise, take care, and I'll see you next time. Hello, pile number 3. Hello, pile number 4. So, you have chosen the Tiger's Eye, and this is for the couples or people in relationships, maybe new, old, whatever. Some kind of help or some kind of just like a little like spark to help the relationship flow a little bit smoother, right? So you've chosen the Tiger's Eye. This talks about luck and new ventures, willpower, creative flow, and overcoming fears. Honestly, with this, it does feel like letting a partner know what you're feeling. Like literally, it could be as simple as that. With the Tiger's Eye, it's about being brave and taking risks in a sense. It might be feeling like a risk, but honestly, it doesn't feel like a risk. It's almost like just having an adult conversation about something. But we'll see what the cards actually say. That's just what came through very, very quickly. I feel like information's flowing fast today. That's why I think I was like, oh, let's do 6 readings. Okay. Take these 2. Finding space to put these. Oh, interesting. This kind of popped up. This is actually a golden tiger's eye, so it's a little bit different to that. But yeah, this is a tiny little piece. Kind of flicked up. Might even want to look up tiger's eye online, just the meanings. If you want to look up golden tiger's eye as well, since that one popped out after I grabbed the bandana that I use as a mat. Alright, so couples, please. But I do like this new venture idea as well. It's like taking taking a step towards a new level in the relationship. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I'm just getting so much. I just want to start the reading because I just need to flip the cards. Alright, so you got Hello from Heaven. Interesting. Interesting card. Interesting card to come through. I'll leave it, but I'm going to read what it says. This one may or may not relate to the reading, but I just want to read the message. It says here, your loved ones in the spirit world want to connect with you, as much as you want to connect with them. They know you've been thinking about them, and they're sending you signs and symbols to show how much they love you, to prove they're with you at this time. So that's when it's like sometimes insects fly by, you know, coins will pop up, feathers, certain stones, certain colors, certain repeated numbers as well. Okay, so you have the Bobcat spirit with Life is a Mystery. It is reversed, so it's interesting, especially with the Hello from Heaven. It's almost like ancestors are coming through to support you at this moment in regards to love and relationships. When it's reversed, it's almost like you have got to a point of not really seeing. It's like, you know, it's almost like routine relationship. And I think this is where it's like, okay, it's time to start adding some more flair or spice into it, right? And you also have the skunk spirit, which is know your worth. Interesting. Skunk and bobcat reversed. Know your worth is interesting, because this is about self-empowerment. When they're reversed, it's not like you're not knowing your worth. It's just like, this is a really important time when it's reversed to make sure you are feeling loved, lovable, that kind of thing, valued. Sometimes that starts from within. Sometimes that, you know, in a connection, it's different. But yeah, it seems like guides, I don't know why your ancestors are necessarily coming through, but maybe there's something there that you know more than I would, right? For whoever's picked this pile. We've also got the Empress, caring, nurturing, but also knowing your worth is still coming up. So it's like, it's a good match. You can still be strong and still help and heal and look after the family. Got the Chariot. Okay. You also have the Seven of Wands, which is interesting. This is again knowing your worth. Okay, if it's around the relationship, then it's around the relationship. If it's like external from the relationship, like two people together, but you know, their parents only wanted them to date a certain race or a certain gender or something like that, you know. Or society's getting a little bit annoying with certain rules, or like, you know, these two people shouldn't be together, or, you know, sometimes even religions will be like, oh, they're from a different religion, or they're from a race that, you know, whatever. This is standing together and actually, you know, ensuring that you're on the right page, having those conversations. got a lot of majors, don't you? You've also got the moon, which is interesting because sometimes we don't know, and I think that's where this life is a mystery is kind of popping through with the bobcat. There's like, I don't really know bobcats because we didn't really grow up with them in New Zealand or not in Australia, where I'm living now. But I feel like because I haven't seen a lot of them on like nature shows, I'd say they're probably pretty elusive, or they try to keep away from people at least. So I feel like with these two, there's like something here of not knowing what the future holds exactly. And that's okay, because if we knew the story of our life, would we actually just follow it verbatim? And if we would, then what are we learning, right? If you were given the answers to every single test that you had, what do you learn besides the answers? Do you actually learn the like difference between certain microbes or whatever you're studying, right? Or certain like calculations, how to get the answers? Do you actually know the path? That's the whole point. I think school almost teaches us like spiritual lessons in a sense. It's like, this is how we get to this result. How do we get here? Because we know the result we want. Maybe sometimes in maths we already know the result, so why don't we just go with that? But we need to know how we got there, because then we learn the actual intricacies of that mathematical problem, which can help with other things. Generally, not always, right? Depending on where we go in life, but at least we switch our mind from like more methodical, more like understanding, more deeper than just answers. Even if we don't utilize that particular skill, we still utilize the methodicalness into other aspects and areas of our life and work. So anyway, that was a long-winded kind of way of getting to this is about trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, and moving forward with that. The Chariot's here to go slowly forward, not quickly. This is about, you know, two different people coming together and having like deeper conversations. I feel like conversation's really important here, especially with like the black and white dogs. It's like, you know, different areas. One's tall, one's short. One's you know, needs assistance. The other one doesn't necessarily. So, and it's not like one's good, one's bad. It's really like two different worlds coming together. Let the mystery be a mystery, but also if there's something that you need to step out of yourself and say, then do that. Speak your truth with love, right? Not just to attack, just speak it with love. And I feel like that's when you can start having real conversations of how you're feeling, what's really important in this relationship, where you're heading to, not necessarily knowing how to get there, but knowing what the destination will generally look like. And as the, you know, weeks, months, years go by, then that can adjust and change as the world and you and your partner adjust and change too. You don't have to be always focusing on something that you've set up 10 years ago if that's shifted and not really important. So maybe even reviewing some of the old ideas and beliefs. I think you are getting signs from your guides, but also maybe even ancestors coming through with like little hints and tips. If they're popping up a lot, there might be just be, I guess, if you want to, you can be like, what is this about? Just like ask it and then sit and see what pops up. And if nothing, that's fine. Maybe it'll pop up later on. And maybe be like, oh yeah, this used to mean this to this person, which was blah, 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 which really helped in their relationship or something like that. You know, it might be super obscure, because especially our ancestors, they get really weird out there. They're not like weird, but they do things that they think you'll just understand because it makes sense to them, but they have shedded some of their like ego and stuff like that by, you know, essentially ascending out of the body. So they'll think, oh, you'll get it. You'll remember this thing from, you know, 40 years ago when you were like 5 years old, because I remember it, so you'll remember it, which is kind of funny, but yeah, they get a little bit wild. But anywho, this feels like a lovely reading. I feel like there's just some conversations that may need to be had. Don't be afraid of going forward. Like, you're going to got these overcoming fears, and sometimes the moon can be about fear as well, because it's like not knowing, not seeing everything clearly. And that's okay. We don't need to know every single step of the way. We just need to know what we decide moving forward, and kind of the direction we point our compass is in the direction that feels correct to us. Not worrying too much about, is it right though, but is it right? Because that's where we get stuck. Keep being your nurturing Empress self as well. I feel like that is always going to be your gift, in a sense, to the world. Make sure you know that you are like a gift to the world, know your worth coming through especially, and a gift in this relationship. You're not just a half of the connection, you're fully the connection, as well as your partner's fully the connection, right? Does that make sense? Hopefully. But anyway, looks like some self-expression is required here. If it pops in that you wanted to do something different or add a hobby or something like that, that you might even want to try together, just see. If they're not interested, that's okay. Go do that. You know, you can do it together or alone. It's not about doing everything together. It's about doing stuff that's for you. But yeah, have a nice conversation with your partner about anything that you have on your mind. I don't think there's anything here that's saying like be worried or worry about anything. This is actually pretty free flowing and nice. I think your ancestors even had time to like go, hey, and just kind of interrupt the reading, which is kind of funny. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions down below. Otherwise, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 5. Welcome to your reading. So, couples, let's have a look at your connection. You've chosen the gold or golden sheen obsidian. I keep saying the other way around, but anyway, same thing. Personal powers, spiritual manifestation, earth healing, and new experiences. So we'll see how this relates to your reading as well. Let me see. I'm going to take you. So really interesting reading so far, especially in the, while I finished the singles. Just really nice messages, honestly. Good reminders, I feel. But like I say with any reading, take what resonates, leave what does not. These are supposed to be really quick readings, but I think I'm going a little bit long. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so we've got 2 here. I think I'll make some space. Yeah, I'll just smush them in. Smush, smush. Oh wow, cards are popping. I don't know, I feel like whoever's chosen this is just like, okay, let's see. Let's see what he's gonna say. Okay. Let's see. That's the vibe I'm getting. Which is fine, right? Because the whole point. Alright, so we'll start your reading. So you have soul power. Interesting. This is always remember you're a soul that comes with a body, not a body that comes with a soul. Your soul is your true essence, and you have an unlimited supply of soul power at your command whenever you need it. I feel like I'm getting something from this, but I want to keep going. Soul power is really cool. I really like the card. It's one of my favorite cards from this deck. So you have Spider Spirit with Make Your Dreams Real. It is reversed. Okay. Oh, I like this. This is cute. The Otter Spirit, You Are Never Alone. This is a really sweet card to come through in a relationship reading, especially if you're already in a connection. Looks like something's here, but at the heart of the relationship, solid. I feel solid connection. And you also have the Lion Spirit, which popped out in the singles one actually, but upright. This is Be Generous of Spirit. Okay. I'll keep going. I want to start talking, but I just need to hold up. Okay, so the Moon card. You also have the King of Swords. You also have the 10 of Wands. Yeah, okay. Busy bee, busy, busy bee. And also the Knight of Swords. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. These two swords. It's like very focused. Well, there's no doubt with the cards that have come out that you are very strong. Like, and you might think, maybe, but this is of like strong of spirit. There was an aspect coming through, and I don't know if it's necessarily still there, but with this soul power, I was thinking this is a very soulmate, soul connection, soul family connection, or very like familiar, almost like your soul, their soul, you know, they know what's up. They've known each other potentially in past lives and things like that. And if not, they know each other up there, you know, wherever we go afterwards, wherever our essence of soul goes afterwards. Because this card really like solidified that. You are never alone, because it has these two otters in like a love heart shape, which is just really sweet. And it just shows that this connection is, you know, valuable and worthy. But then the new experiences and the spider coming through make your dreams real. It's almost like a certain aspect of maybe not the relationship, but maybe something else you want to do together, or just like expand the family or something like that. Has it's kind of, I don't know if it's difficult to talk about, but it's, I don't know, there's something there with it. It's just like, I don't know if I should like mention this or start this or, you know, have this conversation. But if it's popping up in your head, I always feel like, yeah, have that conversation. Is it important to you? Ask yourself that. Is this important to me to have a conversation? Excuse me. Yeah, maybe my voice is going because it's like, use your voice. Like, have that talk and then that excuse me. Have that conversation if you feel it's necessary. I do like Be Generous of Spirit because, again, the strong character coming through, kind of familiar for some reason with this. Like, they're both kind of giving me similar vibes, which is like, you know, the king is like logical, that kind of thing. But I think it's because it's like similar to the Strength card with the lines that pop out on it. But Be Generous of Spirit, so interesting. It's an interesting one because I don't know if it's like, I think there's something that needs to be had or spoken about or done in this connection to let it elevate. Like something, like a conversation can help the connection elevate in so many different ways. It's so weird, like not weird, but like interesting. It's like, wow, that really can make such a huge difference. So go forward with it. Don't be in fear. Don't worry because you don't know what it looks like. Also, you know, I think it'll unload some stuff off you by having this conversation, by having like a real good connective conversation, because that's why this is coming through. This is like fast moving, right? This night, she's ready to go. And I think once the conversation's had on whatever this is, whatever you want to kind of add value to or improve or just have a conversation about, even if it's like slightly off topic from the relationship, it's just like something else that you just want to talk about. It just opens up the door, I feel, to so much more. Maybe even dealing with a particular challenge in the connection. It's interesting because I'm not seeing exactly what it is. Obviously, it's a collective reading, so it's hard to pin everything down. But I feel like a good conversation and not being fearful of it and worried about what the result of that may look like, even if it just doesn't get accepted, like, you know, it's not like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. That doesn't mean you can't do it by yourself, or you can't, like, that doesn't mean you shouldn't have that conversation. Just even having that conversation opens up the door. And maybe just right now is not the time to do this thing that you want, or etc. etc. It's like, maybe give it some time, but I feel like it'll unload because you've opened up about it and been honest and clear and communicative about it. it'll really help, because I feel like it's important to you, right? It's important. And maybe in 6 months or something, it won't be important. It's like, it's really reminding me of a conversation I had with my partner. So I was worried about having the conversation. We had the conversation. We kind of left it, and I was like, we didn't really make a decision. And then in time, I realized, oh, that is not what I want anyway. So we ended up like dismissing it in a sense, but not in a way of like me holding on to it and then just being really annoyed and angry. It's like we talked about it. We didn't really come to a conclusion, but in time, that wasn't something that I wanted anyway. It changed and shifted. I'm not going to say that's going to be for everyone, but I felt good because I let something off my chest, got something off my chest that I was worried about. Like literally these cards, this is almost bringing up that conversation. And it really opened up the doors to so much better communication and other things in our connection moving forward. So yeah, really interesting here. I hope this resonates with you, pile number 5. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Happy to kind of like touch on this, but I feel like you've got a good solid foundation with this connection. So don't be afraid that a conversation will blow up the entire tower, let's say. This doesn't feel like a tower moment. It doesn't feel like a tower like challenge. This feels like something that's just really important to be said, and see what happens. Go with that, and if it doesn't really pan out, at least you'll unload this card and express yourself and your desires. Okay, that's what I see in your pile number 5. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 6. Welcome to your reading. So this is for couples, or if you're already in a relationship, some kind of support, some kind of like little poke at something maybe you've got on your mind. So we'll see what comes out and take, as always, what resonates. So you've chosen a green aventurine with good luck, prosperity, new opportunity, and heart healing. So let's have a look at your reading today. An interesting one to pop out. Aventurine always just makes me think of adventure, right? Going on a quest or something like that. Not necessarily because it's green, but just because the aventurine. But I don't even think it really touches on that as like the meaning of the crystals or anything like that, but I just can't not think of it like that. I feel like you want to pop out, so we'll take you. Take you, and no, I'm going to take you. Okay, I'll take you as well. I'm not usually having this many cards, but I feel like the cards just really want to pop out for your reading today. Last reading's getting all the cards. I always say more doesn't mean better, just has like different layers to the onion that need to be kind of like looked at. Okay, so relationship message. Well, okay, we'll take you since you're a leaper. It's actually interesting, when I was shuffling the pile, there were cards flying out. So, because I shuffled between the reads to make sure that they, had a good shuffle. We'll start your reading anyway. So you've got let go. Okay. Okay. Maybe that's touching in with heart healing. I'll just see. You have cleanse, right? So it's like letting go of the old and washing away the leftovers, right? The dregs. It's like it's kind of like letting go of a big thing and then cleaning. So it's like if your child has like mud on their hands or something, it's like, and it's dried on, it's like shaking it off, the dirt, the big clumps, and then cleansing is like washing away the little bits that are left over, so your hands are clean. Okay, interesting. Got the wolf spirit with turn knowledge into wisdom. So definitely like utilizing the past, the challenges, this like dirt that you got on you as like, you know, not to fear it in the future and utilize it in a way that's like based off fear, but utilize it and was like, oh, okay, that's how this kind of reaction came from what I did. And if it was like maybe I overstepped, or you could review it and be like, well, I thought that was exactly what was right and that felt true to me. So then you know, right, that the learning's either like, okay, I overstepped, or I didn't overstep, I just spoke my truth, but they took it wrong. That means, okay, or took not really wrong, but they took it in a way that was like not how it was meant to be taken, or in a way that was like ego. Then it's like, okay, well that person or that situation is like someone that I don't want to associate with in the future, or something like that. So it's an interesting one. No wonder you needed so many cards, and yours were leaping out. So it's got here, Grasshopper would take a leap of faith. So this might be a good sign to make a change, make a shift, make a decision of self-empowerment, it feels. Oh, okay. And you also have co-create with spirit. This is like support. Your guides really feel like they're supporting you in this. I'm not sure what you want to shift in the relationship, or if it's like shifting out of the connection in some sense, like moving away from. I don't know if it's necessarily breaking up, but it's like something in there needs to be shifted for sure. So we've got the Six of Pentacles. Actually, that's one of the ones that popped out. And Six of Pentacles is about having a certain amount of something and being like, okay, I've got too much, or not too much, but I want the energy to keep flowing in and out, not fearful of like losing what I've got. It's almost like if you fear losing what you have, then you'll hold on to, then you don't believe that new things can come in, new fresh energy can come in, because you're like closed off. You're like, no, I've got what I need. That's it. Leave me alone. It's an interesting one. We have the Page of Pentacles here. This almost feels like the Ace of Pentacles, but obviously at a different kind of level. It could be like youthful energy. I don't feel like it's that though. This feels like a new start, or a fear of a new start, or a new kind of aspect in the connection. I don't know if you guys are moving, or if this is like a big kind of like change in your relationship dynamic. Something's happening here. If nothing's happening, then something needs to happen. Yeah, this one popped out as well. You're really getting the cards that flew out. So there was like this card flew out, this card flew out. Before I was streaming, before I was like, well, I know it's probably recorded, but I'm just gonna leave it, like cut it out, because it's just like between shuffle, and then I don't usually have cards just leap out, especially onto the floor, because they jumped out on the floor. But anyway, you've got to the King of Wands here. He's an interesting one, right? He is independent. He's showing like what he can do and helps others do what they think they can do. So it's like, it's almost like, you know, those people that walk into a room and they don't say anything, but they just have like that superstar kind of quality, or that air of quality. They know who they are, no matter what they look like or anything like that. It's not about looks. It's about an internal way of feeling empowered, like courage, that kind of thing. It's really, really nice. Like it's really empowering energy with this king. All right, and so you also have the Tower. Interesting that these two fell out of the deck and then the Tower's coming through. So it looks like a shift is required in this connection. Whew, okay, so let's start. Could also be with heart healing. Maybe there was something in the relationship that didn't really work out or go quite well, and there's still like wounding around that. I would say with the take a leap of faith, don't be afraid to speak up, or do that next step that you need to do for yourself or as a couple, whether that's having counseling or going to having a conversation. I feel like your team are definitely here to assist with this. You have learnt many lessons in the past from relationships, maybe even from this relationship. That doesn't mean that if a change has occurred, like you adopt a child, or if you, I don't know, do something different like break up or anything like that. I'm not saying you should do any of this, I'm just giving examples. Like, know that you haven't wasted your time, you haven't wasted anything. You're just starting to live more freely and more truthfully and more honestly with yourself. But this cleanse is needed anyway. It's just like, if you leave your hands dirty, you're going to eventually get sick. You know, from eating food. Like, it's like, if you leave your hands with all this like old stuff, then you're going to get sick. I will say, if it's not necessarily about the connection itself, then there's influences in this relationship. Is it like grandparents, mother, father figures, friends, kind of like putting their 2 cents into it? I would say hear them out, but you don't have to do what they say or anything like that. There might be a time to, you know, start to shift energy away from that kind of energy as well. Like those kind of people and that kind of negative comments about your connection. That could, that I'm just taking that way as well, because I don't want to say you need to do something in your relationship. It's just like, these cards are very clear. You've got let go, cleanse. You know, you've learnt many things. Take a leap of faith with just going forward. Co-creating with spirit, I feel like your team are very much here. I think this is centering your reading. This grasshopper and this crow, and it's reversed, so it feels like this is needing to be thought out, but also acted on, not just thought out and then left due to fear or worries. You deserve a good connection, like a good give and take, backwards and forwards connection. This is also after challenges, right? The Five of Pentacles is the one where they're feeling left out, they're feeling neglected. And so the 6 is like coming in after that, where we start to balance out the energies. We start to like not feel like I'm the poor one, they're the rich one in a relationship, or vice versa. It's about balancing that out, making sure you're feeling that, making sure you're feeling valued as well, and that you can express yourself in the ways that feel true to you. And that goes for both sides, because I feel like there's many different ways of taking this in the end from this relationship. And it's like to begin anew as a couple, to begin anew separately, to begin anew with like removing some of these toxic energies out of your life, still as a couple, right? Or not. It's like, it's not about success being whether you stay together or not. It's about, are you valuing yourself and feeling valued and feeling loved and cared for in a connection. So sorry to end this on like a really more deep one, but I'm going to leave it there because I feel like that's a lot of information. There's probably many different aspects and parts of this connection which I obviously don't know necessarily, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But it's time for a new beginning, a new shift for sure, so that you can heal and grow as a couple, or as yourself, at least at minimum. And this is for you. This reading's for you. Okay, well, hopefully this helped you. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, pile number 6. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading.